Hello and good morning. It is 6:30 a.m. and we are in the city of San Francisco. In this video, we are spending one day or 24 hours in the city, and we're going to take you along and show you all the different places that we were able to cram into a one-day trip. It also happens to be the same day as the 2022 Chinese New Year parade. So let's go. We're starting our day after spending one night at the Westin St. Francis Hotel located in Union Square. This is a Marriott Envoy property hotel, and accommodations run anywhere from $200 to $350 a night depending on what you choose. We stayed in room 322, which is classified as Traditional King Landmark. The hotel has two buildings, the Landmark and the Tower. The Landmark building was built in 1904, and the Tower was built in 1972. The room featured all these standard amenities. COVID protocols were in effect, so you had to request turn-down service, but the room was clean and well kept, and a great choice for a centralized location one night in San Francisco. And with the hotel's rich over 100-year history, we're making it number one, the first call out on places to visit in San Francisco. The hotel has had many prominent guests, including Emperor Hirohito of Japan, the Shah of Iran, Queen Elizabeth II. An interesting fact, President Gerald Ford was shot outside this hotel on September 22, 1975. You'll also find this iconic grandfather clock that dates back to 1907, which has been a famous meeting point for locals in San Francisco. And like many Westin hotels, this one also features glass elevators with views to the outside. So look for the tower elevators, which are located to the left when you enter the lobby, and ride them up to the 31st floor for spectacular views of San Francisco. For breakfast, we're taking a quick 5-minute walk from the hotel to Sears Fine Food on Powell Street. This is a San Francisco institution dating back to 1938. With a 1950 decor and vibe, it's a popular spot for locals, for local office workers, and tourists alike. Pancake fans will want to try their 18 Swedish pancakes, which are served with warm maple syrup and whipped butter, and you can add a side of sausage or bacon. Another very popular breakfast item are Lee's Eggs Benedict. Both the pancakes and the Eggs Benedict can run you between $13 to $16 a dish. So we're making great time. It's not even 9 a.m. yet. We've already had breakfast, and now we're ready to ride the cable car. One of the great things about staying at the Westin is that the cable car is just a short 5-minute walk south from the hotel and south from Sears Fine Food. Now, yes, the cable car is an absolute tourist trap, but if it's your first time in San Francisco, you should ride it. Plus, it's an easy way to get up to Fisherman's Wharf. You don't want to walk that. The one thing I want to say is it's just old. So whatever expectations you have for the cable car, lower them. As I mentioned before, we happen to be here the same day as the Chinese New Year's parade, Feb 19, 2022. And this also happened to be the same weekend that San Francisco lifted its mask mandate. So this might have been, I think, one of the first real public gatherings in the city post the pandemic. So the city, the Chinatown area was just a buzz. There were people everywhere coming in to see this parade. Chinatown was full of street fairs and vendors and people in costume practicing for the parade. So just taking a walk through Chinatown and soaking in that energy was an activity by itself. Now, while in Chinatown, be sure to stop at the Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory, which has been around since 1962. Now, it's free to enter, and it's not very big. You can only go maybe 10 steps once you get inside, but it's one of the few places where you can see the process of making fortune cookies by hand. You also get some samples, and they sell a lot of different types of fortune cookies that you can purchase. And if you don't purchase anything and you take some pictures, they ask that you leave like a 50-cent tip or, thank you. So I'm not exactly sure where Sierra found our next stop, Ina Coolbrith Park, maybe from a TikTok video, but she insisted that we make the walk because the views of San Francisco would be spectacular. I'm still not sure, but you can tell us in the comments, do you think it's a great view of the city being in the city? Next up on our list, well before noon, is the world-famous Lombard Street. Now this is a bit of an editorial. When you live in New York City, you look at a map and you say, I could walk that. That doesn't translate well in San Francisco, because the hills, the inclines, make it a non-walkable city. We made the mistake of trying to walk from Chinatown to the Ina Coolbrith Park and then to the corner of Hyde and Lombard to see the world-famous Lombard Street. Not something we would advise anybody actually doing. I think the most interesting thing when visiting Lombard Street is just watching the eclectic cars that try to navigate down the street. You guys did just see the fire truck, right? In case you were wondering, we did make it to the other end of the cable car in Fisherman's Wharf, and those are not Christmas decorations, those are decorations for the Chinese New Year's parade. Our next stop is a place called Umbrella Alley, another place I'm pretty sure Sierra found on TikTok. By the way, follow Sierra on TikTok, it's Sierra's Travel, it'll make her really happy. Umbrella Alley is located near Fisherman's Wharf. Maybe it is Fisherman's Wharf, but it's directly across the street from where you catch the cable car. And yes, we walked it from Lombard Street to Umbrella Alley. Here you'll find about 11 murals painted by local artists to promote the city, promote their work. It's really for the gram. They ask for a $5 donation per guest, and you can just explore the area and take photos. Located blocks away from Umbrella Alley is Ghirardelli Square, and since we're in the area, we figured might as well stop by. Yes, it's a major tourist trap. Yes, there really isn't anything special here that you can get at any Ghirardelli anywhere in the country, but it's the original. Might as well visit if it's your first time in San Francisco. The square is home to the original Ghirardelli chocolate factory. Now it's known for restaurants, shops, a hotel, the cafe where you can try their sundae, where you can buy the Ghirardelli chocolate, or get a picture in front of the Ghirardelli sign to prove to your friends you are actually in San Francisco. Alright, we've made it to number 10, and it's around noon, so we're gonna grab some lunch at Fisherman's Wharf. Now, there are two things you need to know about Fisherman's Wharf. One, it's a great place to walk around, but two, it's a great place for seafood. Touristy seafood, but seafood nonetheless. And we're going to Boudin Bakery because it's highly recommended. They also claim to be the ones who invented sourdough in San Francisco. The thing you want to get here is the clam chowder in the sourdough bread bowl. But there's also a lot of different things that you can get in Boudin Bakery. You can also see all the wonderful breads and pastries that are on display. They have a museum that talks about the history of sourdough in San Francisco. Unfortunately, that was closed due to COVID. But we got our lunch. We got the clam chowder in the sourdough bread. It's fairly large and will cost you about $11. There's ample seating inside, outside, so you can get a spot by the water. After enjoying some touristy seafood, take a walk down Pier 45, where you can check out two classic World War II vessels.
The USS Pampanito was a World War II submarine and now a floating museum that you can tour for approximately $22. Steps away from the Pampanito is the SS Jeremiah O'Brien. It's one of two World War II Liberty ships, It's now a museum and costs $20 to tour. Still on Pier 45, we are now going to visit Museum Mécanique, which is an interactive museum. The museum features over 300 machines and arcade games dating back to the early 1900s. It was cool to play with old-timey artifacts that were actually functional. We planned to just pop in, but we ended up spending about 45 minutes there.
Still in Fisherman's Wharf, we ended up at Pier 39, which features a lot of gimmicky restaurants, souvenir shops, whale watching tours. Just a pretty big touristy area.
At the end of Pier 39, there's the San Francisco Heart, which you can take a picture near. And there's great views of Alcatraz. It's also a famous area for sea lions, but with our luck, we only saw one.
Okay, I give up. It's time to take some public transit. We are going to catch a local bus from the Fisherman's Wharf area and head to the Golden Gate Bridge, Vista Point South.
Mark this on your map for its outstanding views of the Golden Gate Bridge. Located within the Presidio of San Francisco, there are many attractions that you can visit for the entire day. But we're just here to see the bridge. First, walk up to Battery Lancaster for this view. Next, make your way through some bushes to the Golden Gate postcard viewpoint. After staring at the bridge to your heart's content, follow the trail east. After about a 10-minute walk, you arrive at Torpedo Wharf and the Warming Hut bookstore. Be sure to turn around and look at the bridge again. Another 10 minutes east and you're in Crissy Field. Crissy Field is a perfect place to take in the views of the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz, watching yachts and freights zoom by at eye level while sipping coffee from the nearby Warming Hut Cafe.
Keep walking east and you'll find Master Yoda, located on the other side of Presidio. It's Lucasfilms, and if it's open, you can actually see some of their exhibits in the lobby. Worst case, you'll find this amazing water fountain featuring Master Yoda.
It's now 4:30 p.m. and our 14th stop is Palace of Fine Arts. Originally built in 1915 as part of the Panama Pacific Expo, it held 12,000 works of art. Now, the entire building is a work of art, with its columns and dome inspired by Roman and Greek architecture. It's free to stroll around and relax.
As you can see, it's starting to get dark and we want to catch the Chinese Lunar New Year parade, so we're going to head back to Chinatown now and check out the parade.
So this will complete our list of 14 things to do in San Francisco in one day. There are hundreds more, but with the parade, we cut it down. We are off to get dinner now, and we'll end this video, but in the next video, we'll pick up a rental car, and we will talk about what to see going south on the PCH. Don't miss it! Hope you found this video helpful. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow on Insta and TikTok. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.